We wasted the entire day around that campfire, experimenting and discussing. We decided to sleep early so we could wake up and get on the road. We broke camp at dawn. The air still carried the weight of the night, cool and damp, and the mist hung in thin ribbons between the trees. Onion snorted when I tried to fit the pack onto his back, giving me a look that said I was ruining his morning. Dani was already moving, she always was, rolling up her bedroll, kicking dirt over the ashes of the fire, humming some tune that didn't belong to this world. "You're a morning person, huh?" I asked, tightening a strap around the mule's face. "Not really," she said. "I used to hate mornings, but now they feel like a reset button." "That's optimistic," I muttered. "You realize resets usually mean something broke first." "Exactly." She grinned, slinging her bundle over her shoulder. "And I survived it." She said it like it was obvious, like survival was a given, not something that had to be wrestled for every day. We set out east toward Kings Lake, the dirt road winding between tall firs and open fields. It would take us 3 days if the weather held and Onion didn't decide to mutiny halfway through. The sun was still low, throwing long shadows across the ruts in the road, and birds called from somewhere high above where the mist thinned into light. For a while, we rode in silence. Just the creak of wheels and leather straps, the occasional clop of Onion's hooves, the rhythmic swish of Dani's stick tapping against her leg, the same stick from yesterday, the one that had made the ground breathe light. I kept glancing at it. She noticed. "Still thinking about yesterday?" she asked. "I'm trying not to," I said. "You waved that thing around like it was nothing and the earth lit up. I can't even make a spark." "It's not about sparks." "Right. It's about rivers and alignment and not trying. You've said all that." She smiled sideways. "You're a terrible student, you know. I'm a realist. If the universe wanted me to use magic, it would have made me less skeptical. Or more desperate." That shut me up for a while. Desperation wasn't something I liked naming out loud. The road dipped into a small valley, where the air grew thick with the smell of wet leaves. Water dripped from branches, the remnants of a night rain. Onion trudged along with his usual indifference, and I tried to match attitude. 1 mile leads to the next. No questions. No wonder. But Dani's curiosity filled the space between us. "Have you ever thought about what mana actually is?" she asked. "I'm trying not to think about it, make my head hurt." "Humor me." I sighed. "All right. It's life, right? That's what people say. The world's blood or breath or whatever." "Close," she said. "But that's just how people explain it when they don't understand it." "And you do?" She twirled the stick idly. "Not really, but I have theories." "Of course you do." "Mana isn't just energy," she said. "It's memory. Like, everything that's ever lived leaves a trace of itself behind. A resonance. The world keeps it all, recycling it over and over. That's why magic isn't about forcing the world to do something new. It's about remembering something it already knew once." I looked at her sidelong. "You mean, you're borrowing from the dead?" She frowned slightly. "No, not borrowing. More like harmonizing. You hum a tune, and if it matches the world's rhythm, it hums back." Sounds poetic. It's not. It's practical. She glanced at me. "You felt it yesterday, didn't you? That flicker under your skin?" I hesitated. "Yeah. That's the memory tuning itself to you. You just brushed it for a second." I let her words roll around in my head. Magic as memory. The world remembering itself through us. It sounded ridiculous. But then again, so did everything about her. Her ohi, her isekai, her weird dress, and yet she'd still made the dirt glow. "What about you?" I asked. "Where does your mana come from? You didn't grow up here." "I think mana doesn't care about the world," she said softly. It cares about intention, about emotion. Back home, we had different words for it. Faith, focus, flow, same thing, just wearing different clothes. Flow, I repeated. So magic is just being in the moment? She laughed. If that helps, sure. The road sloped upward again, climbing out of the valley. We stopped at the top so Onion could catch his breath, and I looked back. The mist had burned off, revealing a stretch of green fields dotted with dark stones, the remains of old walls, maybe. In the distance, a hawk traced circles in the air. Feels quiet out here, I said. Too quiet. Quiet's not bad. Quiet's when things start noticing you, I said. Things like what? I didn't answer because the truth was, I didn't know. Just a feeling, the kind that settled low in the gut and whispered that not all silences were empty. We drove on. The road narrowed through crooked pines where sunlight slanted green through the needles. The smell changed, sharper, with a faint undercurrent of sulfur. I noticed it first. Dani didn't. She was still talking about how mana might flow through ley lines like underground rivers. Smell that? I said. Yeah. What is that? Sulfur. Could be vents. Or worse. Worse? Fire beetles nest in soil that smells like that. They burrow deep during the day, come out to hunt at dusk. Fire beetles, she repeated, testing the words. That's not metaphorical, is it? Not even slightly. So this world does have monsters. Well, yeah, I said, but a fire beetle isn't one of them. It's a giant insect. It can breathe fire, though, so maybe monster is an apt description. We moved more carefully after that. The path wound through thicker trees, roots clawing up through the dirt like ribs. Every few moments I caught a faint chittering, the sound of mandibles grinding together, buried somewhere underfoot. Dani must have heard it too. Her grip on the stick tightened. So what do we do if we find one? Pray it's small, I said. And if it's not, we run. Reassuring. Wasn't meant to be. The chittering grew louder. Onion snorted and stomped his hooves, ears flicking wildly. Then the ground trembled. It wasn't a rumble so much as a pulse, a single deep thud that vibrated up through my boots. Leaves shivered loose from the branches above. Dani froze. Weiler. Don't move, I said quietly. Another tremor. The dirt at the edge of the path cracked, a dark fissure splitting open. A hot gust of air burst from it, thick, acrid, burning the back of my throat. And then, it came out. The fire beetle was bigger than Onion. Its shell glowed like molten iron, black shot through with red seams. Smoke hissed from its joints. 6 legs ended in hooked claws, carving trenches into the ground. Its head split open along jagged seams, revealing a mouth lined with flickering heat. Dani jumped off the cart. I did too. That's... Yeah, I said. Run. We didn't. Not right away. Maybe it was shock, or stupidity, or the way its shell gleamed like a forge come to life. The thing hissed, turning the air to fire, then spat, a jet of orange liquid that seared across the dirt, setting leaves ablaze. Go! I shoved Dani toward the trees. Onion bolted, reins flailing behind. We crashed through the underbrush, smoke curling around us. The ground trembled with the beetle's steps. Branches snapped. Dani stumbled, caught herself, and spun, raising the stick like it was a sword. What are you doing? I shouted. I don't know, she yelled back. Something! The beetle burst through the trees, a wall of heat and light. Sparks rained from its carapace, setting the brush alight. I drew my knife, useless but comforting, and tried to circle toward its flank. You said it's memory, I shouted. So remember something deadly. That's not how it works. Then how does it work? I don't know yet. The beetle reared back, its underside glowing white-hot. The air warped around it. I could feel my skin tightening from the heat. Dani's hair clung to her face with sweat, eyes wide but focused. The same look she'd had when she drew those lines in the dirt. She pressed the stick to the ground. The dirt hissed where it touched, but she didn't flinch. "Come on," she whispered. "Just remember." The beetle lunged. I barely had time to dive aside. The ground exploded where I'd been standing. The stick in her hands pulsed faintly, once, twice, then went dark. "Did it work?" I shouted. "I don't think so." The beetle turned toward her, mandibles clicking. Steam hissed from its shell as if it were winding itself up. "Run," I said again, but she didn't move. Her knuckles whitened on the stick. "No, I can do this." The beetle charged. Sparks flew with every step. Dani took a breath that seemed to pull the whole forest with it. She held the stick out, eyes shut tight. The air around her shimmered, the same heavy dampness as before. Leaves rustled without wind. The light bent as if the world held its breath. The beetle's shadow fell over her. "Now would be a good time," I shouted. She exhaled, a single sharp sound. The stick flared. It wasn't fire. It was light, pure and white, bursting from the tip like a star tearing open. The force knocked me backward, heat washing over my face. The beetle shrieked, a high-pitched scream that rattled the trees. The light grew brighter, threads of color spiraling through it, red, gold, violet, and for an instant, I saw shapes moving inside the glow. Circles, lines, symbols, like the ones she'd traced in the dirt, spinning around her like a halo. Dani's hair whipped around her face, eyes wide, mouth open in a wordless cry. The ground shook, the trees bent, and the beetle lunged, straight into the light. There was a sound like glass breaking underwater. Then, silence. The light pulsed once more, blinding. I threw up my arm to shield my eyes. The air crackled with heat, electricity, and something older than both. And then came the explosion. It wasn't fire exactly. It was color, raw and alive, bursting outward from the stick in a wave that rippled through the clearing. The shockwave threw me off my feet. I hit the ground hard, dirt and ash filling my mouth. Somewhere in the chaos, I heard Dani scream, not in pain, but in awe. When I looked up, the forest was a blur of smoke and light. The beetle a heap on the ground, crushed by brilliance. Dani stood at the center of it all, her silhouette small and shaking, the stick held out before her like a lightning rod. Her eyes were wide, reflecting the inferno around her. "Dani!" I shouted, trying to get to my feet. She turned toward me, slowly, almost dreamlike, and I saw the fear break through her face. The light coiled tighter around the stick, humming like it was alive, hungry. "I didn't mean," she started, but the rest was lost in the roar that followed. The blast tore through the clearing, and then everything went white. To be continued. Please give this video a like and subscribe to the channel. I truly hope to see you again.